Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexiot's here. It's Saturday, and we're sharing the love on a Saturday once again. Always sharing love on Saturday. This world needs more love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that I'm thinking of. That's right. Share the love. And today, we're doing another Share the Love that's very special and dear to this channel because it is one of our own. We're sharing love for a Raptor Freak today because listen, I've done these Raptor Freak Share the Love streams like I did for Trevor just a couple weeks ago. I've done one for the super fan Monique Lawrence. I've done one for let's see who else. We did one for Randolph. We've done one for Randolph. We've done one for Logical Raptors Fanatic. If you're a long-standing Raptor Freak, a supporter of this channel, somebody who's been watching me for a while, I appreciate you. I love you. You guys are like my family. You guys are like my best friends. And the person today that is centered around the Share the Love Club today is definitely one of my favorite people in the Raptor Freak family. And that is Fiercey Salsera. That is MJ. And we want to take a special focus with MJ's Share the Love Club to really celebrate the bond of a mother and a daughter in basketball. Because in some ways, this is the story that's developed with talking to MJ about her life, is that she likes to tell us about her daughter and how she's playing on teams. You know, she sent me a message yesterday, and hopefully I'm going to hear from her today on the air, and we'll do actually interview on stuff. But, you know, her daughter's been playing for her school team and also for regional teams. And she's having very successful stuff happen to her at times, and just all kinds of good things are happening. And the thing is that this situation with MJ's daughter in basketball is team building, is confidence building, is good and bad, like learning lessons building. There's so much to sports, and this is true. You know, the other day when they did that press conference at BMO, they're talking about sports are good for kids. That's true. That's true. Sports is so good for children growing up to learn how to interact with other children and be a good sport, to, you know, be, I guess, what's the word? Hopefully they're teaching their kids to be like very calm, reserved, kind of like not braggadocio kind of kids, not arrogant, and they're good winners. And they also learn through sports how to be, how to win and, how to win and lose. You know what I'm saying? Because like in some ways, if you win, you don't want to gloat. You don't want to be a jerk. If you lose, you don't want to be a jerk either. You got to kind of find good sportsmanship in sports. And that stuff's important. For most of when I grew up, sure, there were girls' sports around, but there was such a heavy influence on a heavy emphasis on boys' sports. And, women's sports and girls' sports is important too. And it's really, really important for the same reasons that boys' sports are, because you can get social friends through sports. You can learn to navigate interpersonal skills through sports. You got to learn how to take leadership from a coach and understand the discipline of playing with a team and being a team member and all the things that are responsibilities with that. There's a lot to sports, and it's just gender inequality. If women are not allowed to play in sports, but men are, that's crazy. That's messed up. And it should any kind of mentality that was like that in people's minds, that needs to go extinct. Because in some ways there were people like that at times, people that think, oh no, women shouldn't be playing baseball. Women shouldn't be playing football. Women shouldn't be playing hockey. Women shouldn't be playing basketball. That's a closed-minded, arrogant view of old world kind of stupid shit. And we ain't having that. We're progressives here. We look forward to the future. We look forward to better and better outcomes of equality for everyone, because that's what we want in this world. And, the rise of women's sports currently in the sports world is fantastic. In some ways, this is kind of like an equilibrium we're seeking for to get somewhere. Now, will it ever be completely equal on all fields with men? I don't know. It'd be ideal, but it may not be realistic. Who knows? I mean, the earnings of the NBA is crazy, but the WNBA is earning way better nowadays and doing very, very well. In fact, they're going into their playoffs this weekend. They'll start tomorrow. And that's part of the reason why I want to do this stream today, too, is that WNBA and women's basketball is on the rise. And the evidence is in cases like MJ and her daughter, that, the interest is higher than ever for young girls to get involved in basketball. And the opportunities are more than ever, too, it seems. That there's a lot of stuff coming and out of the woodworks and getting set up for infrastructure for young women to play basketball. We've got a women's league that is in Canada, separate from the WNBA, that's a development. And also, we've got the Toronto Tempo coming here next year. So the opportunities are coming. And, this is great. Once again, the bond between a father and a son over a sport should not be just for them. A bond like what MJ has with her daughter in basketball is so fulfilling. And there's no gender to this. This is just a mother and an offspring that wants to help her daughter become the best woman she can be. And in some ways, a vehicle through sports is actually very well rounding for an individual's personality. Because seriously, sports are a really good lesson in all kinds of ways. And you know what? Sports is a safe place to make mistakes and kind of like be an idiot, because you can learn tough life lessons in that situation. It's temporary. It's just like the stuff on the court. You have a win or a loss. Well, it's going to be just for that day and you move on. And well, sometimes you do make poor mistakes and you live with them and you learn tough lessons. But that's the great thing about sports is, you get to play another game later and make up for it and be better for it afterwards. So yeah, I love hearing the updates about Fiercely Salsera Jr. from MJ. I love hearing what's going on. Like recently, she had tryouts and she's going to be coaching, which is fantastic. I love that. It's just a really cool thing. I love basketball, and I think that basketball is a great sport for anybody to pick up around the world and play. And the fact that more and more women are getting involved in basketball is a great thing to me. It's a great thing to me. WNBA, everything that's happening. Team Canada, women, fantastic. And this isn't totally just to basketball, as it's not confined to basketball. It's also happening in soccer. It's happening in hockey more too. There's the PWHL now here in Canada, and we've got the Toronto Raptors that just started in the last year also. So the opportunities for women in sports are increasing, and that's a good trend. That is a great trend. That is a fantastic trend. All right, let me check in on the chat. And yeah, today's theme is women in sports, and it's also the WNBA, and it's also a special relationship between a mother and a daughter. I love you, MJ. Thank you for letting me do the Share the Love Club for you. You have been such an ardent supporter of my channel, and just one of the best people that we frequently interact with on this channel every day. And I just appreciate you so much. Thank you, MJ. I really, really do appreciate you and what you do, supporting this channel and just being an active part of it all the time. And as I said, hopefully we'll get an interview with MJ on the phone so I can ask her some questions about the things that are going on with her and her daughter in basketball, and just the experience and how, it's enriched their lives. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what this is all about right now. This is about basketball. It's not about football. No, it's not, MLSE. It's not about football. This is about basketball. All right, let me see what y'all are saying. Trevor James did, of course, first with his words of wisdom. Let's see what Trevor's saying this morning. Our strength did not come from lifting weights. Your strength came from lifting yourself up when it was locked down. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, some people did do push-ups and sit-ups when they were locked down in the COVID pandemic. Some of them did do this. I know. I'm taking you literally. But no, I agree with this. This is Rocky Balboa sentiment. You get up one more time than every time you go down. That's what it is. You get up every time you almost go down. All right, she's going to call me right now, guys. This is Fiercey calling on the phone, and we're going to have a little interview this morning. Good morning, Fiercey.
Good morning, Lex. How are you? Hi, Tom.
So happy to have you on the phone this morning, and so happy to make the stream centered around you, because honestly, like, I really do want to get every single important Raptor freak share the love club at some point, but this one was long due. You have been such an
I really appreciate it. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Lex.
Oh, no problem. No problem. It's I do this with such pleasure. I'm not going to lie. I really do. Because I really do believe in, the relationship between your daughter and you and what you guys are doing. It's so special. So
Thank you.
So MJ, can you maybe elaborate just a little bit about how you feel your bond with your daughter has grown because of sharing a love for basketball?
Well, actually, yes, it's a very, very important thing that you mentioned, because the bond is reinforced as we travel a lot and we go to practices and we drive a lot of time out of town to tournaments. It's really strengthened our bond, and we get to talk, we get to discuss, and also what I did is, like, knowing that some teams they've had like history of like maybe bad history between players and coaches.
Mm-hmm.
I always made a point to always be present, and it reinforced my love for the game. But meaning, because I like the NBA level, but watching the girls are very good too, and the way they coach the girls, the way they're being coached is different. So they really focus on the fundamentals. The emphasis is really on the fundamentals, the passing, developing basketball IQ, and I really, and strategizing, and I really enjoy that. So that's what I did. I also participate in my daughter's teams as being like the person in charge of booking the scorekeepers.
Oh, wow!
So I get involved as well in the basketball community for her team.
This is similar to my brother, I think. My brother down south with his son, he gets involved because he helps with finding scorekeepers, and also he does a little bit of coaching on the side, but it's maybe not really expertise coachy, but just being an extra parent or somebody around to do things to help to the team, right? That's kind of what you're doing?
Yeah, and I coached my daughter when she was at the recreational level. That was 6 years ago. She's been playing competitively for 5 years, but at the recreational level, we coached, and we won. It was a really fun experience, but I know that coaching was not for me, because first of all, I'm a dance instructor. So,
well, you have your knowledge, but there's others that'll have places they can take her even further, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
So I knew how to teach fundamentals. That's what I do. I teach people dancing, but like to really expand on basketball, that wasn't for me. So when she started competitive, I left her in good hands.
Good stuff.
Some years were difficult, some years were good, but most of all, it helped her with her ADHD. That was very important for me to have her do some sports and keep her learning, so that she could learn to be focused.
Yeah.
And that she could be methodic, develop a methodology of work and teaching and training.
Yeah,
that helped her significantly.
And another thing is stick-to-itiveness. Some kids are like, I want to do this, and then a month later they want to do something else. So her commitment to 5 years of basketball is important, because you want to teach something to your young children that you want to stick with things and see them through. So
exactly, and also by being part of teams, she's developing like a team cohesiveness and friendships and fight, and it's people that share the same love as her.
Yeah. So she's getting social time.
Exactly.
And not just that, you said this earlier, that you guys riding around, it's really good mother-daughter time to just bond and have time shared with each other.
Yes, and sometimes she doesn't like me critiquing. Sometimes I say, you were not aggressive enough. You didn't drive enough, but this time the passing was amazing. Your defense was on point. I give her feedback.
Yeah.
And actually had a call this morning with the coach, the team that took her. But the first, she did summer training, and she wanted to work with Ottawa next level. She did not turn out, but she was accepted with the Ottawa Shooting Stars. But it turns out that her school, they offered her a position to coach the Benjamin team as well. So I was happy for her that she made the decision. She's like, you know, she still has time to register the under 19 team.
Yeah.
So that's why she's focusing on teaching. You know, as I'm talking to you, she's just taking the time, but she's going to training in a few minutes. We're going to train in half an hour.
So you guys are training literally right now.
She's going to. She has a private coach.
Wow.
He's very good, and she trains outside with boys. He wanted to train with boys so that he could. He said if she can play against boys, she can play against anyone.
Oh
so
yeah.
That's his way of seeing things, and it's really helped her like that. For the past months that we've been training with him, I think it's really. I've seen the growth.
So this is one of the great things about sports. It allows for social network and meeting new people and new friends. It allows for opportunities for you to fail and succeed so that you understand the feelings of both. And by part of that, it allows for a growth of confidence in young people, girls or boys, coming up, because you know they're learning experiences of going through those emotions or those experiences of good and bad. It really, really enriches their experience. And like I said, it gives them confidence because it's like, well, I've kind of been through a tough time, or I've been through a really amazing winning time, and I understand how, you know, to handle this better.
Exactly. Because she doesn't take losing very well. But the thing is, when you lose, it's part of the game. There can only be one winning team and one losing team. So when they do lose, that she's like, okay, what did I do? And she works on it. Yeah. And I would add to what you're saying. It also helps with children like her that have like ADHD or that like high energy. It helps them channeling their energy and focusing on one thing at the present moment also.
Yeah.
And I think it also helps for her academics.
Yeah.
Scheduling her studies.
Yeah.
Versus her time to train. Because at some point, you as a parent, you want to help them in that lane, but eventually she will have to do her own schedule.
Yeah. She goes off to college.
Exactly. So it's good to prepare them in that sense.
You're instilling early levels of discipline in her to balance everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She's done scorekeeping. It opens the door for them to do other jobs in their lives. Like she's done scorekeeping, and she's going to coach. So it's good for her to also, within the love of the game, she gets to do other stuff.
Broaden her experience.
She will scorekeep at her school this year also. She will scorekeep. They have to do volunteering, 10 hours volunteering at her school, and she will do that as part of the volunteering. So it's a skill that she's developed to scorekeep, and she gets it to use. So it's all intertwined. It's really beneficial. It was very, very, very beneficial for her.
That's fantastic. Well, of course, you guys are doing something with her training this morning. Of course. What do you think, Lex? What do you think they're waiting around doing something? I wanted to ask you, Fiercey, that I know that sometimes being a parent of a child athlete, sometimes parents can get a little too involved. Let's say, you know, it seems like to me, you give a good balance of understanding to her that this is about competing and doing your best and working hard and having discipline and doing things. But ultimately, the thing that matters is you're having fun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When they're younger, the kids they're being told, just have fun. As they grow, it's not enough. It's like develop a competitive edge.
Yeah.
But the thing is, mostly they still have to maintain fun because they have to have the love of the game. Like,
that's right.
Was it Jimmy Butler when he was saying, I lost joy for the game.
Yeah.
At some point when you play and you don't feel like playing,
that's not good.
It's not interesting.
No.
So you still have to love playing, but also maintain the competitive edge and maintain you want to strive to learn better and do better. So
if it's hard,
it's important, and as a parent, it's fun to watch them can play as well. It's really neat.
Yeah, if it's hard, that means you're growing. In some ways, that means like if it's not, if it's really easy, that means you're not really progressing as a player. So it's a fine line to walk that line as far as like, you got to make sure the baseline of fun and feeling of it is fun. But when you see those signs of frustration, maybe you see those signs of, I'm tired. I'm not really, I don't really want to do this today. That's when you really have to hammer home this, like, look, there's going to be days like this sometimes. And also find your center of fun once again within that. That's usually the thing. But yeah, that's something like I feel like parents will burn their children out and use sports because they make it not fun for them at a certain point.
Yes, because some parents I know I've seen, they're like, it's as if they did not get the opportunity and then they're pushing it on their kids.
Yeah.
I've heard this happen mostly in hockey. I heard it's very toxic. It can be a toxic environment in that sense in hockey.
Yeah, parents that want to live their dreams through their kids can be totally unrealistic and unreasonable. Let's just put it that way. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, me, I'm a dancer, first of all. I'm a dancer, so it was never about, and people were telling me, why don't you have her teach dance salsa? Like, that's because I did it for many years that she should do it. She's more into sports.
That's something that is, I mean, you can relate because dancing is a very physical activity. And in some ways, you had to keep yourself physically in certain ways to do the best in your art. And so there are definitely experiences and things you can take from your training in that to help Fiercey Jr. in her basketball. I'm sure there's some crossover stuff that really pertains to it. And it's like, oh yeah, especially with like stuff like stretching and calisthenics and stuff, right?
Yeah, we have before the practice, and then we stretch, and then we do the warm-ups, and then we do our routine, our choreography and stuff. And I always tell her after training, if you're not tired and if you're not sweating or if you don't feel like your legs are hurting, then means you didn't work hard enough.
Yeah,
that's an indicator that you didn't train hard enough. But her training, unfortunately, they're very rough, they're very good, intense, so it's good. Her legs will hurt a bit, but then she just stretches it out, and then she finds it like the day or two after she's okay.
So you've told me in the past she's a point guard, right?
Yes, she is. But the discussion I had this morning with the coach, because he wanted to give her feedback. He said she checked all the boxes. The defensive intensity was good, dribbling, ball handling, the shooting.
Unselfishness.
Unselfishness. He said she's also a very good team-oriented player. And she called for the ball. He said he sees her more. He sees her as a PG or a shooting guard.
A combo.
He says, yeah, a combo. Well, she could do point or she could be shooting.
Nice.
Despite her height, because she's only 5'3". And that's one thing we were looking at the WNBA rosters. I think the shortest player is 5'5".
Well, I mean, she's still young and growing, right? So who knows?
Well, she's 16. I think the girls stop growing at 16.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I know with boys, they grow like into their 20s. It's kind of crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not the girls.
That's right, because girls mature earlier in some ways. Like they're the ones that are having growth spurts like earlier in grade classes. Like I remember that when I was in school. Yeah.
Exactly. Which is why now, because she's shorter, she needs to play harder to be noticeable. So that's that's the difference. Yeah.
So you told me that like she's a big fan of people like Kyrie and Ja Morant.
She loves Kyrie and Ja Morant.
And she recently went to the celebration with Lou Dort in Montreal. I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, because we have like our friends that I have a friend actually was coaching the dance, so we have some inside friends that's how she went to the camp a few years ago. She got a signed ball, and she also registered to Chris Boucher's team, but they only do practices in Montreal, so it's not possible for us to go to those sessions. But no, she loves Ja Morant. We went to Raptors versus Grizzlies game in 2022, I believe, in December. We had such a great time. It was in December, and she saw Ja playing. She
Nice.
was happy.
That's tough to do because with the pandemic and his issues and different things that are happening, getting him actually on the court and seeing him playing, that's actually kind of a rare occurrence in the past couple of years. Seeing as Memphis only comes through town once a year, and he's been sitting a lot in the last few years.
Yeah, we went to the playoffs. We came to a game, Philly Raptors versus Philadelphia. We came to game 2, I think, and Raptors won. So that was a very nice experience for her to see.
Yeah.
The difference, the playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Oh, I'll bet.
Electric.
I'll bet. Yeah, that was the Philly series that we had the last time.
And I take her to CBL games.
Nice.
So it's just to entice her love more. She's more into the NCAA college basketball. She's very into college basketball.
You were saying that. So she's a college basketball fan. What is her favorite college? What team?
Who's your favorite college? Is your favorite team, Didi? UConn and South Carolina.
Yeah, South Carolina, of course. Yeah, those are two powerhouses.
South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think the Gamecocks.
Yeah, so she knows about Chloe Kitts.
Yeah, Chloe Kitts, she knows about her.
Yeah.
She put me on the page. She was like,
yeah, okay, cool. That's very cool. Juju? Yeah.
Juju, yeah. She's the one. She was naming all those girls. I had no idea these girlfriends until they went to the WNBA. Juju's not there yet. WNBA.
No, not yet.
Maybe this year she's coming.
Yep.
But my daughter's putting me on those things also. I'm not aware of these things.
So I'm guessing you guys have major plans to come to Toronto for Tempo.
Yeah, next summer we're coming to watch the Tempo. And I'm going to have my sons come with us. We're going to do like a family outing.
Nice.
Gathering. That's why I was asking when I registered on the Tempo
website.
I'm on their list.
Yeah.
I was wondering if I buy a ticket, if the whole family can come to my section, or is it me? So that's why I was inquiring.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess you have to ask them. I heard that the Tempo is finally getting out to all the people that were on the list and the people that were trying to get tickets, and they're finally getting back to them. And it seems like the process is taking a while because they're calling each person like very individually, kind of. That's why it's taking so long. But they have time. I mean, they have time.
They're in Montreal this weekend. I got an email only on Thursday. I'm like, 2 days before? Really? That was a bit of a fail, I find, because had we known before that they would have been in Montreal this weekend, we would have planned accordingly. We would not book to coaching or training and stuff. So that I don't get why it was not published that earlier.
The Montreal weekend this weekend?
Yeah. Because, so I guess we'll have more opportunities, but for now we cannot go this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a leeway to get to an event, letting us know a little ahead of time. Raptors open coach's house. Come on now. That's always nice.
Next Wednesday. That was weird. Next Wednesday. So
yeah, I was wondering about that. I think Darko's just like I don't want a distraction this year, and we want to get it over and done with before the season even starts. I think they're obligated to do the coaches open.
We'll have Raptors Week representation.
Yeah, Mo ended up getting a ticket and is going to be able to go next week at the last minute, which is awesome. Superfan Mo will be there. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys are at the gym right now, or are you just on your way?
We're on our way to the court. We're going to be outside training today.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully it's sunnier over in your province than it is here, because right now it's very rainy here in Ontario where I'm at. So.
Yeah, it's grayish. I hope it's not going to rain, but it's not. The sun is not out yet. But
well, listen, the rain is part of the training if it is there.
Oh my goodness! Hopefully not. I don't want her to slip.
I know. I always think back to Irvin Johnson. Magic always said every single day, 365 days a year, when he lived in Michigan and he was, and he lived in Chicago, actually. And he was growing up as a kid. He was out there every single day, whether it was 4 feet of snow.
Wow.
He's crazy. I mean, that's part of the reason why he is who he is.
We saw the results.
Yeah, exactly. So.
One of the greats.
Yeah. Fiercey, I just want to tell you once again, I admire so much that you're a very active mentor and guardian in your daughter's life, as far as enhancing her experience in life by helping guide her on her basketball journey. I feel like it's such a vehicle of bonding and a vehicle for social network and a vehicle for so many positive things for her and for you and for society in
I
general.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I find it very important that
You there?
Sorry. Be involved in your kids' journey.
Yes.
Because eventually they will grow, and you will not. Those moments will never come back. So while you can be involved and support them, cheer for them, root for them, and it's a great experience.
Because you're raising the future, and you want to make sure that you raise good people for the future. And I know you are. I know deep in my heart that you are for sure. That you're an amazing mother, and that you've done a very good job helping her to realize more dreams. And that's amazing. That's an amazing, beautiful thing. So
thank you, Les. Appreciate it.
So much love to share on Saturday today for you, MJ. So much love. So much love.
My daughter's smiling. She's proud of me.
You know what? I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of the love and bond that you two share over basketball. Because that's what this is all about. And anything else you want to add real quick, and I'll let you go because I know you should probably get going just in case it does open up. It's like,
nothing more. The only thing I want to add is I'm looking forward to the Raptors season. Go Raptors!
Yes, let's go Raptors. That's right, Raptor Freak. Always.
Thank you,
You're welcome, Fiercey. This is my pleasure to put on blast something so beautiful and so amazing about sports, and that is the connection and the relationship that can be formed in all kinds of different ways. It can be teammates, it can be coach and player, it can be across teams. You bond. It could be what this is, and that's a parent and a child, and especially a mother and a daughter in today's world with the ever-growing women's sports going on right now. It's fantastic. I love that so much. Fiercey, thank you so much for calling once again. And into the Raptor Freak Share the Love Club for Fiercely Sarah. You guys, we have more love for this weekend coming up because tomorrow is the 4th anniversary birthday of this YouTube channel. I started this channel on September 14th, 2021. And we will have 4 years notched of time every single day doing this live stream. That's crazy to me. I've done this for 4 years straight starting tomorrow. That's amazing. So I hope you'll join me tomorrow. A special report. It's a little bit special, not really a report. It's just a party. We're going to have a Raptor Freak party. And in some ways, I'm just going to do goofy stuff. I might even do some throwbacks. Like we might do some old segments that have not been on the show anymore recently, just to kind of go over the whole history of the show and all the goofy stuff. That's right. Justin Bieber will be on the show tomorrow. That's right. There'll be we're going to take a memory lane of the Raptor Freak channel and where we were and how it came to where it is now. That's right. All right. I hope y'all will join me tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. for that. Y'all, let's keep going in the chat. I am so appreciative of Fiercey and her daughter and just sharing their story and allowing us to see, an intimate look at, this kind of relationship. And hopefully more and more of these are sprouting up everywhere, all across the country. More young women are picking up that round ball that's orange and putting it through the hoop. That's right. Let's go. That's right. Trevor J saying this. Aja Wilson has won the MVP of the WNBA. That is not a surprise. How many has she won now at this point? Also, Paige Bueckers is the Rookie of the Year. That was very expected also. And as they're saying about Paige, let the hardware rain down on her because apparently she's going to be getting more in the future. So congratulations to some of the big award winners in the WNBA this season, Aja Wilson and Paige Bueckers. That's right. Trevor's also giving me this news that the FIFA is facing a lot of pressure from people around the world to cancel the USA matches for FIFA in the near future. They want to cancel the site locations in the United States and move them to places in Canada and Mexico to divert them. They obviously see the United States as a shit show right now. And they really don't feel safe bringing a lot of people from all around the world into a country that's actively, let's just say, disappearing people of color and people that look Latino and stuff like that. I mean, this could have all kinds of dumbass recipes because you got an idiotic white supremacist group called ICE operating in the United States right now. So I think FIFA is right, and they should put the ICE on the FIFA games that were supposed to be in the United States, and come on up to the Great White North and go on and see a great progressive country that is lifting people out of poverty and doing everything right. You know what? Mexico's beating y'all, United States, at this point. Mexico, I have admiration in deep ways for you right now. You guys are badasses down there. The country of Mexico is winning because they are doing it right. And in some ways, look, some ways people used to look up to the United States for leadership in the world as far as how to be. Not anymore. You guys are the worst example of how to be at this point. And Mexico's a way better example than y'all at this point. And I hope Canada can be more like Mexico and less like United States, is what I say right there. So put that FIFA south of the border and north of the border of the United States. Because listen, it's not safe to be in the United States, even if you're a citizen. That's just the damn truth. I'm not being overzealous or crazy on this. This is just the damn truth. The United States is not a safe country to be in. It's not a safe country to visit if you're someone from a foreign country. It's not friendly. It's not a friendly place. That's what's going on right now. This is the damage Trump does. I'm telling you right now. Let's see. Trevor's saying the lady of the hour today. Raptors family loves you, MJ. That's right. Trevor J., wasn't it great to see the picture of MJ on the stream this morning? Wasn't it great to hear her voice this morning? The love she has for her daughter and the things she provides for her to have the tools of success and the things that she wants to do on a basketball court. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. That is so beautiful to me. That's right. Trevor's saying World Track and Field, September 13th to the 21st on NBC and Peacock from Tokyo, Japan. That's right. That started today. They're doing that track and field. I know there's a lot of people on this channel that love track and field sports. Well, there you go. There's your wake-up call. It's on NBC starting today for a week. That's right. Go get it. That's right. Here's Fiercey. Good morning, fam. Happy Saturday. Really appreciate your call today. Fantastic call, MJ. It really, really, it's just great to have it from the words from your mouth and just describing the benefits that you get from the things you're doing with your daughter. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Great words of wisdom, Trevor, and thank you for the kind words. You deserve it so, so much. So, so much. And I think everybody that frequents the Raptor Freak channel knows you very well. And we all appreciate your energy, your positivity, your dogged determinedness. You have a real sense of sense to yourself, Fiercey. You really do. And I feel it. I feel it in your personality. And I appreciate you for being you. How about that? How about that? I just love you for being you. How about that? There you go. There you go. James is saying, I don't watch the WNBA. Who's the best in the league? Caitlin Clark? No, it's Aja Wilson, James. As of today, it's Aja Wilson. Now, James, this is a little fishy. And maybe this will explain something about our WNBA fantasy league because you played in it, right? This guy, what are you doing, James? It's like, this tells me a lot why you're at the bottom of the league standings. It's like, I don't watch the WNBA. It's like, but James, you're in our WNBA fantasy league that just ended right now. Like, what the? Anyway, man, it's Aja. Caitlin Clark's probably the most famous player in the WNBA right now, but the best player is Aja Wilson. By far. Yeah, it's Aja. Yeah, see, Fiercely saying it there too. Dominant, reliable, and leads to winning. Yeah, she's won quite a few championships already, and she's won quite a few MVPs. You know, there's different eras of the WNBA, and Aja Wilson is one of the top 5 greats ever as far as her accolades already, and she's very young in her career. She still has a lot of time to get way more accolades. So who knows? By the end of it, she could end up being the greatest WNBA player in the history of the WNBA. But I don't know. In some ways, I still point to Cynthia Cooper from way back. There's some other players that have got a lot of rings. I think there's a lady named Maya that's got a lot of hardware too. So, it's you got to look at winning. You got to look at a dominance. And, well, Aja Wilson is that right there. Right there. That's right. That's right. Trevor J saying, what do you think about the Angel Reese story? Chicago Sky trying to get rid of her. Well, this is really interesting. And we found out from Terrence Ross in the last day or so some interesting stuff related to this Angel Reese thing. Terrence Ross was on a podcast talking to a podcaster about the Angel Reese story, and he said that he went through this himself in the Raptors. I was like, whoa, wait a second. This is interesting. Because if you guys don't know the story, Angel Reese went to the press in the last a week or so and basically threw her teammates under the bus. She basically got in the interview and said, yeah, my teammates are garbage, and this team sucks. And she said it publicly. In some ways, she didn't have no filter. She probably shouldn't have said that shit because everybody in that team, well, is that good for team camaraderie? Is that good for trust with your teammates? No, not in any kind of way. And in some ways, she's just closed the door or burned the bridge with her and the Chicago Sky. And that may have been very on purpose. Let's put it that way. But in some ways, she got to learn she can't do this ever again because honestly, once again, there's only like 12 teams in the NBA, WNBA. There's not that many places to go. You don't want to burn bridges in WNBA because there's not many doors to open to go to the next place. And that's not smart. It's just not smart. Now, this is interesting. When Ross was asked about this on a podcast recently, Terrence Ross, former Raptor, dunk champion, 31, he said, I've lived this experience. He said that he went through it with Bargnani. Yeah, this is kind of disappointing, but I can see how this whole thing went down and how this happened because, Andrea speaks Italian first, and he was interviewed by an Italian reporter. And this is Ross's rookie year, he said. So I don't remember what year that is. And Bargnani wasn't on the team for very much longer after this. But basically, he was interviewed after a game. And in Italian, he said to the reporter, the team is not very good and we're not playing very well. And he may have been translated to say something like, our players are not very good. And he didn't mean anything by it. In some ways, it's lost in translation kind of thing. But what happened was in the echo chamber of the telephone of translating from Italian to English, it came off as him saying and throwing his teammates under a bus, kind of like Angel Reese. Now, Angel Reese very pointedly, specifically did it for sure. Bargnani's intention wasn't to do that. It's just a weird thing with translation. But boy, were the Raptors pissed. Seriously. Apparently, Terrence Ross was saying that Aaron Gray, the old center, the backup center that we had at that time on the beginning of Open Gym, he was really pissed. Like he got in Andrea's face and all these guys were getting all worked up, he said, in the locker room waiting for him to come in. And they asked him about it. Well, let's just say that after that, the trust with Andrea Bargnani on the Raptors was out the window and he had to get moved then. So not only was Masai, when he first got in, he was in a bad situation with Andrea because he was not gelling with his teammates because they didn't trust him anymore because he threw them under the bus in a weird misinterpreted way. So that's a very interesting story I had no idea about. This is why this podcast era is so intriguing and interesting, is because some of the stories that you would have never heard come out eventually. Now, we know Bargnani loves Toronto. We know Bargnani in some ways was a high expectation guy because he was the number one pick. And, he was kind of too high of expectations. He wasn't going to succeed no matter what. So that was a very interesting story Ross told about Andrea and the lost in translation quote. And Aaron Gray wanted to kick his ass. That's crazy. But Bargnani did get moved. He got traded to New York, and that was one of the moves that James Dolan started to mistrust Ujiri about because, we fleeced them in a way. Just unloading his huge contract and sending him there and clearing up that locker room problem. Because even if Bargnani wasn't a bad guy, that was a locker room problem. See, that's the crazy thing. That just signifies how delicate and fragile a locker room's chemistry can be. Seriously, Ross said, if you do certain things with your teammates, you will lose them. And that's why, it's really important for us to have team leaders like Scotty Barnes, Jamal Shed, RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, because these guys understand that it's all for one for all. Camaraderie and chemistry is absolutely built on being trusting with each other and liking each other. And when you have teams where there's a simmering kind of I don't really like this person. I mean, in the NBA, they've said, you don't have to like your teammates. You just have to play with them and respect them and work with them. That's true. There's a lot of teams that can play where the guys don't like each other and they can get on the court and they can play. But you know what? The teams that have guys that like each other, they do way better. They do way, way better with winning an outcome because they feel good and they like it and they enjoy it. You know, when Manuel quickly hits a crazy ass shot and Scotty comes running up to hug him, that's not fake. That's a real pure joy and camaraderie and teamwork and team feelings. You know, you can see it when teams like each other. You can see it when teams don't. When OG's yelling at Cat on the bench. So it's like, you know, this is important. This is so important. And I think some people have said recently that the X factor for winning, some people have determined this, and this is why I love Darko so much, is chemistry. Is absolutely the players getting along and vibing and being on the same page and just having trust and ultimately just kind of love for each other. You know, if your team has love for each other, well, you're going to go far. If your team is just showing up to work and they got to like put up with each other for the time that they're there, yeah, that's not going to be good. That's not going to be the same quality. Basketball is a team sport. The energy flows better when you love each other. That makes sense, doesn't it? That just makes sense right there. Yeah, yeah. All right, let's keep seeing what you guys are saying in the chat here right now. Yeah, yeah. Fiercey's thanking me again. I love that. And Fiercey's saying thank you to Isaac. Ottawa, stand up. There you go. I love it. Wayne Strainer is saying, morning, Raptor Freaks. Good morning to you, sir. Oh, I skipped a bunch of comments. I see. Yeah, James is saying, cool. I will check out some YouTube highlights of the WNBA. See, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow the Raptors nation. The passion of the Toronto Raptors basketball team is there. It's easy to promote that. And we want to promote love for basketball in all kinds of places, whether it's CBL, WNBA, Canada's basketball. You know, we're going to push it. And, you know, James, if I help encourage you to watch more WNBA today, hey, get on it. The playoffs are starting tomorrow, my guy. What a great time to watch, because this is the playoff season for WNBA. You may want to watch not just highlights, but watch some of the games tomorrow. They could be very good. Yeah, Fiercely represent. That's right. She represents Raptors Freaks, Raptors team, and her daughter, and just basketball. That's right. Amit's here. Good morning, Lex. Hope everyone's having a good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Good afternoon, should I say. That's right. This man is, I think it's 4 p.m. for Amit right now, but I hope you're having a good day, sir. And all the best to you always, man. Morning, Wayne. Good to see you. Trevor J saying Aja Wilson is the number 1 player in the league in the WNBA. I won't disagree with this. I think this is very accurate. Now, the WNBA playoffs are going to be starting tomorrow, but also the Eurobasket finals are set as of yesterday. And we had a surprise in the later game, guys. Greece lost to Turkey. Yeah, Giannis did not do well. He scored. This is how bad you know it was. Giannis scored only 2 more points than his two brothers scored together. That's not good. His 2 brothers only scored 10 points, and he scored 12. So Greece got put out, and they're playing in the 3rd place game against Finland for the bronze. And it will be Turkey versus Germany in the finals tomorrow. Dennis Schroeder versus Alperen Sengun. But I was looking at that Turkey team, and I'm like, holy shit. They've got 4 NBA guys on that team. No wonder they're doing good. They got Sengun. They got Sidi Osman. They got Aiden Bona. You know, they've got a good team on Turkey. So let's talk Turkey. Are they going to beat Germany? I don't know. Germany is just like that right now. Germany is this team that's got the experience in some ways, and it's just like that for some reason. So I still got my hat in the ring for the German team to win the Eurobasket 2025 finals. But man, I am just really in awe of the rise of Turkey getting to this point in Eurobasket. Who would have penciled that one in? Seriously. If you're doing your bracket for Eurobasket 2025 and you had Turkey in the finals, man, good for you. Because I didn't see that shit coming. No, it'll be an interesting game to see how it all goes down. Let's go Germany. Let's go Dennis Schroeder. That's right. I'm a Dennis fan, so I'm rooting for Germany. Let's go. And our Team Canada coach, he used to coach Germany. Gordon Hebert. Yeah. So, you know, we got some ties there. Isaac Bonga. That's right. Isaac Bonga. That's right. Stand up, Ottawa. Ottawa, stand up. You are welcome, Fiercey. You are so welcome. That's right. That is right. All right, let me see. I jumped ahead in the chat from before and I missed some comments and I came back and got them. Good. Randolph is here. Beloved Raptor Freaks family, blessings. Blessings to you, Randolph Phillips, and all the Raptor Freak families. We love you, Randolph, and I appreciate that you've been enjoying the wrap up of my Raptor Freak, not my Raptor Freak, of the Kensington Variety VIP Club show. The final show aired in September of 2020. So it's 5 years over. And Randolph has enjoyed my predictions, and he saw the foresight in real action on some of those playoff games that we did in the bubble with Boston and Brooklyn, and that whole segment. If you want to see the entire series of the Kensington Variety VIP Club, it's 12 seasons. It's like 300 episodes. It's in a playlist on this channel, and you can watch it from the very beginning. This is a very interesting show where every day I worked in a convenience store, I filmed fun, like games and all kinds of goofy stuff we were doing, trivia, giveaways, bartering over goods in the store. It's just a really cool show, and it encapsulated a very important period of time in Toronto history. It was from 2018 to 2020 up until the pandemic. It captured the Raptors championship. It captured cannabis legalization. It captured the beginning of the pandemic, all kinds of stuff. It's a time capsule show that hopefully in days long after this, somebody can go and watch it and be like, wow, that's what that was like 50 years ago. That's what that was like 100 years ago. They aren't wearing masks. Wow. Oh, they are wearing masks at the end. Oh, in some ways I felt like it was important to, I didn't even know at that time to encapsulate that time because so many important things happened, like the Raptors championship, the first one, and the pandemic, and different Toronto events that happened around that time. So I hope you check out the Kensington Variety VIP Club playlist. It starts real goofy and slow with me giving away cans of green beans, but it starts to pick up in production value and all kinds of other things as it goes. Let's just put it that way. It's a great show. I enjoy, I think in time it's going to be even more and more. It's like, you know what it is? It's like a time capsule, like you would bury in the ground. I don't expect people to go and watch that playlist very often. In some ways it's not that interesting, but down the road, that playlist could be very interesting. Let's say like 2070 or something like that, 50 years from now. It could be very interesting then. Our blessings to the Phillips family, all the Raptor Freak families. That's right. James is laughing. Trevor J saying Trump administration said Canada is not listening to them. Who cares? Why? What is it we're not listening? Well, because we're not buying stuff from them? Because we're not coming across the border? We don't have to do jack shit. You're not a dictator. You're not a king. Fuck you, Donald Trump. If you want to try and do anything up here, don't even try it. Elbows up. All right? That's what I got to say. That's what I got to say. Isaac Campbell saying playing, coaching, guiding. Let's grow. When I coached in high school, it helped me as a player and gave me more confidence in my game. There you go. Isaac Campbell is also a parent that is involved in basketball. He plays himself still. And I'm sure he has a child somewhere in there that's interested in basketball that he's put through on a team and different things in time. I know Isaac has a very, very intimate relationship with the round ball and the basketball. That's right. I know that. Because in some ways it's a spiritual thing. I know for me personally, when I was a young man, if I was having tumultuous times and I was not centered in the right way, I would get that ball and go out on the hoop and just start shooting around and shoot. And you know what? An hour in, I probably felt totally better then. It was like therapy, honestly. I know this is something that DeMar DeRozan and other people have said, when they've been having times of trouble, they go right into the game. The game is their security. When tumultuous times are happening and things you can't control, well, to get on the basketball court and put up shots and practice and work, that can get you centered and make you feel like you have some more control in your life again. And that's a beautiful thing about the sport of basketball. It's therapeutic. It's therapeutic in some ways. It can be an escape. It can be an escape. And, I know that people like DeMar have said when things were going really, really bad, they turned into playing more and practicing more because that was their sanctuary. That was their sanctuary right there. Randolph is saying, weekend blessings, beloved Raptor Freaks, with love. You have been blessed with the gift of life and abundance blessings. Make sure to leave your mark. There you go. There you go. Well, that's what I'm saying. A time capsule. I'll leave that time capsule for the future generations to watch. And maybe they'll be like, wow, that's what Kensington Market was like back then. Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah. James is saying, let's go Germany. All right. Yeah. We can get behind Dennis and Franz and Daniel Tice and that crew. And we'll see what happens tomorrow. Turkey has a pretty big team too. A lot of the European teams are very sizable teams, so there should be some good matchups. I mean, Sengun is dangerous, right? He's a very gifted big man. He's very lithe on his feet, and he's a good passer, and he's got some interesting attributes as his player build. Well, in some ways, the German team has some big guys that can try and corral him to a certain extent. Daniel Tice, a very, very smart veteran of the NBA who understands kind of how to stymie people. Thyman and different people on that team also. If Mo Wagner was playing, he would be helpful too in trying to slow down Alperen. So we'll have to see how it all goes down. Dennis is, of course, a huge X factor, and Franz Wagner is a scorer. C.D. Osman's going to have to try and take Franz out of the game. He's going to have to guard him to have success for Turkey. You got to slow down Franz. That's right. That's right. James is saying, if we never got quickly, I would have been happy with Dennis running point. I love Dennis playing for us too. I know that a lot of people didn't like him in Raptors Nation. There was a lot of manufactured bullshit about Dennis that was completely untrue. And I think that when we've had this argument before on this channel that Dennis is a starting point guard or a backup point guard, which one is he? He's either one. Just like, Fiercey's daughter is a combo guard. Well, Dennis is a combo starter bench guard. And in some ways, it doesn't matter if he starts or comes off the bench. He's suitable for either one. And in some ways, that versatility has hurt him in his career to a degree. I would say that because in some ways he has been relegated to being a backup point guard, but in some ways he should be a bona fide starting point guard, in my opinion. I mean, he's an MVP of the World Cup of FIBA, and he's put in the years in the NBA to have the experience. And honestly, he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think that most teams, if they can get past some of the stuff from the past, he's a perfectly good starting point guard for an NBA team. I think that just some people have saddled him or labeled him as not being good enough to start in the NBA. I think that's absolute horse crap. And if things had fit a little bit better with the Raptors in the first year of Darko in that first half, who knows? Dennis might have hung around a little bit, but that was the intention. But it wasn't working for some reason. I don't know if it was that just Dennis didn't vibe exactly right with the people we were wanting to keep around. It could have been, maybe it didn't work exactly how they thought. Dennis was really close with Darko, and he knows him very well. And that was part of the reason why he was brought in, was to help Darko establish himself as the coach of the Raptors. And in some ways, Dennis was a veteran, outspoken guy that could come in and kind of help Darko get respect right away. Because, Dennis he's not a guy who sits back and lets things happen. He will say something. And if Darko wasn't getting the right respect right from the start from all the young Raptors players, Dennis was going to regulate. And who knows, maybe he did. And that's part of the reason why he had to get traded halfway through the season, is because in some ways, personalities have to match. And Dennis is a very specific personality. Let's just put it that way. He's very much a very specific personality. Isaac Campbell's saying, did Dennis Schroeder over Uncle Dennis? Yeah. Yeah, should we rank Dennis's today, guys? Let's just rank Dennis's. It's the birthday weekend. We're going to do fun stuff this weekend because we're just loose, man. I say the best Dennis ever is Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman is the best Dennis center in my opinion. I'm also a big fan of Dennis the Menace. I think that old TV show with Jay North was hilarious. And Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson! Dennis, don't come into my yard. I'm pruning my tree. You're going to mess me up. Dennis, you distracted me and I chopped the branch off. Oh, no, Dennis. I'm sorry, Mr. Wilson. Dennis the Menace is a pretty good one. Dennis the Menace, yeah. There's Dennis Condrey of the Midnight Express. That's right. Dennis Condrey, Playboy, lover boy, Dennis Condrey of the Midnight Express and Jim Cornette. I don't know. I'm going through Dennis's right now. What's another Dennis? There's, obviously we've talked about Uncle Dennis and Dennis Schroeder. Dennis Schroeder, yeah. I don't know if I'm ranking them. Dennis Rodman, Dennis Schroeder, Dennis the Menace. We're ranking Dennis's here today, man. What are we doing in our life right now? Isaac, you're getting a dunk for this, man. You got me to do a Dennis the Menace impression just now, and I love that. I love that show. What was his name? Gail. What was his last name? The guy who played Mr. Wilson, man. Boy, was he always pissed off. And Martha Wilson was always standing up for Dennis. Oh, he's just a boy. Oh, just let him do what he's going to do, honey. But Martha, he ruined my gardenias. Dennis the Menace, that show was crazy, man. Nick at Night, y'all. Nick at Night. That dude was off the chain, man. That kid, he wasn't a bad kid. He was just he wasn't mischievous either. He just kind of fall into bad things happening. Like he'd goof up by accident. He wasn't trying to do that. He'd be like, "Oh no, the paint fell all over the new floor." James is saying, "Lex, you watching the fight today? Canelo versus Crawford." You know, I've never really been into UFC or boxing at all. I just haven't. I mean, I used to kind of watch boxing when Mike Tyson era, like way back then. I kind of watched that because the Tyson stuff, everybody had to watch the Tyson fights. I mean, watching Tyson bite the ear of Evander Holyfield, I was at a big, huge party and watched that. But I've never, ever been in UFC. I think I watched the beginning of UFC with Royce Gracie and like Ken Shamrock and Dan Severn. And I watched some of that then. But at a certain point, the whole thing, it just turned me off. You know, there's something about UFC that's useful, but I feel like there's too much toxic masculinity around it in general that it's in some ways I just don't enjoy it. Plus, I've always said this: I like pro wrestling more because it's real easy to hurt people. Yeah, it's real easy to fuck up and just hurt people, but to make the illusion of violence and not hurt people, that takes a lot more skill. And that to me is what much more interesting. You know, it's really easy to hurt people. You can do all kinds of things to hurt people. But in some ways, to make it look like you're hurting somebody and not actually hurt them, that's art. That's art. So I was always a pro wrestling fan more than combat sports of any sort, whether it's mixed martial arts or boxing. Yeah, I was always, that's why I like the Hulk Hogan. That's why I liked all that kind of stuff. It's because, wow, that's really cool what they just did. It looked like that hurt, but they didn't. Wow. Wow. It's crazy. Fiercely saying, I really like Dennis and his passing abilities. Well, he's a true point guard. Some people would argue with me about that he's not. But no. Maybe when he was younger, there were periods in his career where he was shoot first, pass second. But he really is more oriented to be a classic point guard at this point in his career. I think a lot of it has to do with the success of Team Germany and the things he's done and leading them. That and it's more confidence as teammates too. So I look at him as a pure point guard at this point. Sure, he can turn it on and try and score a bunch of points real quick if he needs to for his team. But Dennis Schroeder is always most effective when he's getting assists and he's setting up his teammates. Yeah, man. Dennis is awesome. I love Dennis. I'll talk about Dennis. Trust me. I'll talk about Dennis. Let's go look at the WNBA playoff matchups once again. So they got wait, hang on. That's not the right one. Let's get the bracket. The bracket. I want the bracket. Let's see. There it is. Where is it? Oh my gosh. Why do they do it this way? All right, here we go. The first matchups are going to be all right. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., Golden State will start against Minnesota. Now, a prediction on that one, I'm going to go with the Lynx, obviously, because the Lynx, I don't even think they lost 10 games this season. Did they end up winning almost all their games and not losing hardly at all? They did lose exactly 10 games. So they ended up 34-10 with a 77 win percentage. That's really dominant stuff by the Minnesota Lynx. It's one of the best seasons in WNBA history. And, Golden State's in the first year, expansion year. And, they're very lucky to have an above 500 record and be the last team eking into the WNBA playoffs this year. So I think the Lynx are going to trounce them. Trounce the Valkyries, and they'll be going the next round in that one. Indiana at Atlanta will be at 3 p.m. tomorrow. And, the Fever have had an interesting season. They had a slow start. They had a little bit of trouble at the beginning. They've had to endure Caitlin Clark being absent a lot of the season at different times for injury and different things. And they've had people step up and do very well for them in her absence. And that's Kelsey Mitchell. Yeah, she was amazing this year as far as like scoring double digits every single game and just being a real leader for the Fever in the absence of Caitlin Clark. Also, Boston needs to get mentioned for this also. But there were a lot of fever players that stepped up. Atlanta Dream is a team that is, had their ups and downs too. But I'm picking Indiana on this one. You got the Liberty versus the Mercury, 5 p.m. These games are right in a row every 2 hours. Liberty and Mercury, that's a tougher one for me to gauge. I think the Liberty are probably going to win it because they've been getting all the way to the finals the last couple of years. And Phoenix is different now. Phoenix doesn't have Brittany Griner anymore, and they're not the same kind of Mercury that they've been in past years. So I'm going to pick the Liberty in that one. And then the last matchup is Seattle versus Las Vegas. Seattle Storm versus Las Vegas Aces. Aja Wilson and Jewel Lloyd against her former team, which is an interesting storyline. Jewel Lloyd was on the Storm for most of her whole entire career until this year, and now she's on the Aces this year. But the Storm versus the Aces, this could be a very much a grudge match, partly because of Jewel Lloyd's presence and her history. And that one, I mean, it's tough to go against the Aces. But for some reason, I like the Storm in this one. I don't know why. I have no idea why. So, yeah, there's your WNBA first round matchups. And we'll have to see which of the 8 teams go forward in the first round. That's right. Boom goes the dynamite. Yeah, let's keep going in the tabs. We've got our straight goods on Canadian goods right now. We want to support Canada. If there's any kind of bowing up by the U.S. and tariffs and rhetoric and all kinds of disrespect, well, Canadians don't like that. And in some ways, we can show you that we don't like that in different ways. And one of the ways I tell people is to do what we've been doing. And it's been fantastic. Don't let the bullshit out there misguide you. We are helping things by supporting Canada's economy, by buying Canadian products. There's not going to be a lot of information out there in the media saying that this is happening because a lot of the mass media in Canada is controlled by the United States. So why would the United States tell us that, well, our boycott is working? They're not going to. So just trust on the down low. What you're doing to buy Canadian only is absolutely helping the situation because the numbers in the States economically are horrible. And in some ways, the numbers in Canada are actually really great. And jobs are increasing and other kinds like that, stuff like that. So keep buying Canadian. I'm doing it for the rest of my life. I'm not coming back. I am not going to buy American products for the rest of my life. This is how much what you did was so stupid, Donald Trump. You had a whole country blindly buying American products, and all the American CEOs of all the companies that are hurting because of your politics and your idiocy, well, they should be coming after you because you're bad for business. And you're the direct reason why. Today, I'm talking about breakfast, y'all. Egg Smart. Egg Smart Corporation is a Canadian-owned breakfast chain operated by Obsidian Group. It sources many ingredients domestically and creates local jobs. Yeah, Egg Smart has got all kinds of great initiatives. I know my parents love it. They go to the Egg Smart not far from where I live, and they eat it, and they just went on and on about it, man. They're like, Alexa, you need to go to the Egg Smart over in so-and-so because, man, it is so good. That location, they got such good breakfast. So, yeah, they have a lot of commitments, Egg Smart, to being a Canadian company. They're proudly, very much 100% a Canadian company, all Canadian success story, Canadian through and through. And they have a social responsibility to their community and their customers and the environment. They ensure that they use products that are always striving to do better in green initiatives. And I appreciate that, especially with some of the push and the policies of some of the right-wing politicians right now that are anti-environmental and pro-fossil fuel. When we see companies that are green conscious, I do really want to go support them. They're also about animal welfare, guys. Like they do worry about the chickens that are making the eggs for the Egg Smart, and they want to make sure that they're humanely treated. So that's an important thing, especially for people that are vegans and animal rights activists and stuff like that. They have a broiler bird welfare thing. It's like, look, this is crazy, man. They're actually doing a whole bunch of stuff to help these chickens. They cage-free eggs, all kinds of stuff they're doing, Egg Smart. So, and their packaging is environmentally conscious. There's just a lot of good things about Egg Smart. 100% breakfast, Canada, proudly Canadian. You got to go get Egg Smart, y'all. You listen to me talking about Egg Smart. You want some breakfast? Go on down there and get it right now. They're going to have it till 3. Go on down there and get it. That's right. James said, I would have liked a Doncic versus Giannis in the finals. I'm sure the NBA and Adam Silver would have loved that too. But nah, you don't get that. This ain't script writing, Vince McMahon. You can't set up the WrestleMania main event to be Slovenia versus Greece just like that. No, FIBA's got FIBA. And Adam Silver can't storyline right in the FIBA tournament at Eurobasket 2025. Nah, Luka doesn't have good enough supporting cast. This has always been the case. And you know what? It's the same for Giannis. Both those guys are amazing players. They may be two of the top 5 players in the NBA, but they don't have jack shit past them on their rosters. That's the thing. Sengun in Germany, Sengun in Turkey, and Schroeder in Germany. Both those teams have multiple NBA players, and they have a little bit more depth past just the one really good player. So it's like when you're weighing it all out, James, you got Luka. But wait a second. Here on this side, we've got Dennis, Franz, and Daniel Tice, and more NBA players on the German side than the Slovenian side. Yeah, Goran's too old to help Luka. So too bad. Wah. Slovenia's out. That's it. That's it right there. That's right. Isaac saying if Kawhi had just stayed in Toronto in time for the housing crisis, the free penthouse from the rich CEO real estate developer would now be worth exactly $48 million. That's hilarious. Listen to this guy. Isaac Campbell's telling jokes here. Seriously, yeah, bad business decisions abound, Uncle Dennis, Kawhi Leonard, and even Ed Rogers III. That's right, Steve Ballmer. All these bad businessmen. They ain't making good business happen here. Yeah, Kawhi, what did you walk away from, you idiot? I don't know. Could we have saved him? You know, not only could we have saved him with Dr. Alex and load management and his health and being able to play more than he did in LA the last 5 years, we might have saved him from his fucking malfeasance with the salary cap circumvention. You know, that we might have saved you, Kawhi. Like, let's look at it this way. Let's think about this. Let's Winders. What if Kawhi had decided to stay in Toronto and Masai had guided him to be a more decent, law-abiding NBA citizen that actually followed the salary cap rules? Maybe you wouldn't have this problem if you never went to the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard. That makes sense to me. I don't have to be Brian Winters to figure that one out. But seriously, you might have had all kinds of things better in your life. What a poor decision. Turning your back on a championship run in Toronto and not coming back for a second chance to repeat. You could have changed your life completely. This is the kind of shit that's crazy because it's such a public decision right in front of all of us. And we can see it was the worst decision of his life going back to LA. Seriously, I think this is one of the worst decisions of his entire life. Turning his back on what he had here in Toronto for stupid reasons and going to LA and having all this shit happen and unfold since. Seriously, man. I love that. You said it'd be worth $48 million. Ha, 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 Isaac Campbell. Ha, 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 ha. That's so funny. Kaz is here. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to our WNBA fantasy champion, Trucker Kaz. That's right. I got your address yesterday. Thank you. I have not gotten the package together. I haven't sent it yet. I'll tell you when I send it. I'll send you a message, Kaz, and I'll let you know when to expect it. But yeah, it's probably not going to be, I'm kind of busy this weekend. I'm going to try and get to it, mailing it sometime next week. So I'll let you know when it gets in the mail and we'll see how long it takes to get to you. How about that? Yeah. It was WMJ and WMJ Jr. Yeah. W's to Fiercey Salsera and her daughter, Fiercey Jr. Yeah, that's what we're sharing the love for today. I appreciate MJ calling in today and having a nice interview with me, talking about the very, very beautiful things that she shares with her daughter over basketball. So awesome, man. Fusi saying thank you to Kaz. I love it. Neil's here. Good morning to Blackhawk 2K. The league needs to drop this endorsement, which witch hunt, because majority of teams are doing it. That's what they're trying to say, but I've also heard different things. I've also heard different things. You think that a majority of the teams are doing it? Well, that's no good. This league is all messed up then. I heard that they had a meeting, and some people are saying from the insiders that a lot of the owners are pissed. And they do want the Clippers to get punished. Now, Zach Lowe came out on his podcast in the last couple of days, and he said there's going to be two things that could happen. Either they're going to get a slap on the wrist and nothing, or they're going to be a fine. Like he thinks there'll be $1 million fine or something like that and losing second-round picks. That's what Zach Lowe thinks is going to happen. He thinks there'll be like a fine and losing some second-round picks, and that'll be it. And it won't be anything on the grandiose scale of people being banned for life. It won't be anything like what we think could possibly happen. Because this is true. Pablo Torre is a thorn in Adam Silver's side. In some ways, he's annoying the hell out of him. In some ways, I do not like the way the mass media, corporate media is attacking Pablo right now, because honestly, he doesn't deserve this. He's an independent guy who just came out with something. And honestly, it needs investigation, because it looks like there's a lot of smoke and there's a fire that's true in the middle of this story that he has dug up. I mean, sure, he's a thorn in the side. He's a whistleblower. He's somebody that is making your life miserable in some ways, Adam Silver. But honestly, this is the thing. If something's going like this and it can be found out, and it needs to be divulged and it needs to be put in public if people are breaking the rules and doing things wrong. Now, that's crazy how the rich will cover up for the rich in all kinds of different ways to hide this kind of shit. And they're doing that. In some ways, this is similar to the Epstein files. The rich will cover up for the rich. And there's all kinds of covering up in different ways because different people can get destroyed. And well, in some ways, people are coming to protect Steve Ballmer, whether it's ESPN, whether it's people like Kendrick Perkins. There's people that are taking pot shots at Pablo Torre. There's people investigating him. There's doing all kinds of crazy shit to Pablo Torre. This is not a culture that should be happening like this. This is really evidence that the oligarchs, the 1%, and Donald Trump's control of the media is getting worse by the minute. That somebody who's just a truthful journalist who's trying to put a story out is in big trouble. And it shouldn't be like this. It should not be like this. There's a lot of things under fire right now, whether it's education in the United States, which is crazy, some of the things, the decisions they're making with Linda McMahon and shit like that right now, whether it's the healthcare system with RFK. And well, in some ways, the media is compromised because it won't report the facts anymore. And, in some ways, Pablo Torre and myself are more like real journalists than the actual media at this point, because the media is just a PR machine for whatever message the 1% oligarchs and corporations and Donald Trump want to put out there. And they're censoring everything. And that's not free speech. That's not true journalism. And people that are real reporters, people like Dan Rather, they see it in their lifetime and they're appalled because they're like, this is not the industry that I worked in. There's no journalistic integrity to bootlicking and kowtowing and taking the narrative that's given to me and putting it out there. No, I need to find out the results as a reporter. And that's a big problem with democracy right now in the United States. There's no democracy if there's no free press. That's just the damn truth. That's just the damn truth right there. Neil, I'd like to think that not most teams are doing it. And if there are multiple teams doing it, they all should be punished. And I don't want to live in this world where everybody just gets a free pass. If it's wrong, it's wrong. And they need to do something about it. That's what I say right there. James is saying Jalen Brunson is next. Well, we'll have to see if Paulo Torre can dig anything up on the Knicks. Let's just put it this way. James Dolan has facial recognition software, and he's suing all the lawyers that are suing him and not allowing them into the arena. You think James Dolan is going to try and let Pablo Torre bring a controversy like what has happened in the Clippers to his franchise? No, he's going to be ahead of it because he's one of the most litigious people in the NBA right now. I mean, he's suing us, that motherfucker. Two-finger salute for you, James Dolan, you fucking piece of shit. Yeah. I'd like to see them get the Knicks. Don't get me wrong. And I do think that there is some malfeasance with the Knicks and possibly Jalen Brunson. Possibly. Yeah, Blackhawks saying Mark Cuban defended Ballmer because they all do it. Exactly. That's what I'm hearing, but that doesn't mean it's right. Listen, Mark Cuban is a popular guy, and in some ways, he wants to help the league because he cares about the NBA. In some ways, he didn't help the league when he sold his team to a genocidal bitch, but he wants to help the league still. And one of the ways is like he's probably the most popular hit owner in the history of the NBA. So if Mark Cuban comes out and says certain statements, Adam Silver might have put him up to it. And, Mark Cuban's a businessman. He's like, you know what? I want to help you, Adam. He's doing this to help the NBA. In some ways, I'm disappointed in Mark Cuban for his stance in this kind of stuff and what he's saying, because we don't want to normalize breaking the rules. We don't want to normalize criminals and felons in the White House. We don't want to normalize January 6th. But this is that kind of shit. You're going to normalize Steve Ballmer's bad behavior, and just by saying everybody does it, Neil, that doesn't mean it's right still. And that's the message I have for that. So, yeah, Adam Silver can swat Pablo Torre away like a fly. But that don't mean that the issue that you're doing and what you're doing is corrupted and it fucks up the league. Because in some ways, look, we don't want to have to spend out the ass in secret, weird ways through weird accounts with different weird tree companies and businesses to pay the players outside of the realm and all this shadow like salary cap bullshit in the league. Nobody wants that shit. In some ways, Adam Silver definitely doesn't want it. He said that's a cardinal sin. It's a cardinal sin to circumvent the salary cap. So to me, I think that if he can deal with this internally, he will. But it's already very publicly out, and in some ways, he's going to have to do something about it. But they can't let it on like what you're saying, Neil, and Mark Cuban's trying to normalize. Fuck you, Mark Cuban, for that. Because seriously, in some ways, you're showing that you're complicit with the billionaire class because you're coming in as a friendly, likable person and trying to change the narrative to help Adam Silver. That's what that shit is right there. I mean, come on. Just because everybody's doing it doesn't mean it's right, Neil. And that's true. That's right. You think genocide is right just because they're all doing it over there? No, that's what I'm saying. It's like we can live in a society where the majority of people are criminals and they're doing things that are absolutely wrong, which is what it looks like we're moving towards. But understand that if you want to hold on your personal morals of good and right and wrong, you should. Because, like I said, if society evolves into criminality and just like everything is evil and people are just fucked up, you can be that one light of like virtue still in the world today. That's what I say about that. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, let's see. Neil's saying Scotty being an interior designer for a condo developer sounds funny to me. Do I say bury the issue? What do you mean interior designer? No, he's not. You got to understand what he's doing for that condo. All right. What he's doing for that condo is he's designing a game room for that condo. He's not picking the wallpaper. He's not doing shit like that. If he is, so what? Let him do that. I mean, I don't want to get into like looking at people in gender roles and stuff like that. All right. Scott likes plays. In fact, let's go to the Instagram stories. There's something there right now. First, Toronto Tempo has got their playoffs, the playoffs of the WNBA up. There's the bracket. I love it, man. Let's go. Let's see some WNBA playoff action start tomorrow. They are in Montreal today. Toronto Tempo are down there. So, yeah, they've got some of the stuff going on already up on their thing. Rise and shine. There's a bunch of young girls and getting it in practice and a skills competition. They look a lot younger than Fiercey Jr., though. They look like they're about so one of them looks like they're about 3 years old. So, yeah, there's a very young there. There's Lloyd's taking artistic pictures. He took a picture of him standing against the wall, and now he's got a picture of a backstage. It looks like a dressing room. Scotty did go to a play last night. Scotty loves going to Broadway kind of shows, and it looks like he went to see Hamilton again, is what it looks like last night. He's saying it's the greatest show ever. He really, really does love live theater. Now, all right, Neil, let's do something real quick. Scotty likes live theater, and you think he likes interior design. What are you trying to say? And even if that was true, or even if that's that, I mean, what is it? What is it? What do you mean by this? What is your implication about the interior design thing? Seriously. That's what I want to know. Whatever it is, it's stupid. Seriously. Because gender roles and gender identity and things like that, that's all conditioning by society and bullshit that we were taught as kids. In some ways, it's taught to us by racists and misogynists and patriarchy. And, that kind of shit, you should decondition your mind from. Because honestly, it holds you back. It doesn't hold Scotty back. Scotty going to live the life he wants to live. If Scotty wants to go and see Hamilton 100 times a year, he wants to go and design a game room for a condo, and he's in touch a little bit in some ways with his feminine side. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, we need more male energy getting in touch with their feminine side. Some people say, no, men shouldn't be in touch with their bullshit. Because the sacred female is going to save us in this cesspool of bullshit we're going through right now. It's not going to be male energy. Male energy is stupid and warlike. Female energy is healing and positive and holistic. And to heal the world, we're going to need the sacred feminine. So, I mean, we could get on gender roles and gender ideologies and bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's conditioning taught to us as little kids. It may have been taught to you because your father was worried about you being gay, Neil. Shit like that. Let's not do this. If Scott wants to design or have a sense of design, if Scott wants to go to plays, if Scotty's autistic. I don't give a shit about any of that. He plays basketball damn good. And that's all I care about. As far as I'm concerned, his personal life and what he does, if he allows to show that he's at Hamilton, if he allows me to know that he is a Google Pixel spokesperson, if he's allowing me to know that he's involved in a condo being built on Bathurst Street, that's up to him to let me know. But all the rest of it is not up to me. I don't give a shit about the name of his child. I don't give a crap about the sex of his child. I don't know, because that's none of my business. That's his personal life. And I know where the lines are drawn. So I don't know what your overtures are here, bro. I seriously don't. And even if Scotty was into interior design or anything kind of like that, who cares? That's his life. That's his choice. Let him live his best life. That's what I say to that. That's what I say to that. I love you, Scotty. And Scotty, you just be Scotty, man. That's what Lex says. At least don't be Biscotti. Biscotti? What? Biscotti Barnes? You mean like a little NBA paint thing that came out this week? B Scotty. No, not Biscotti. B Scotty. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Anyway, continuing with the Instagram stories real quick. Yeah, Scott loves Hamilton. Greatest show ever. He's gone and seen it probably a dozen times, guys. Seriously. Norman Powell in practice with Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat. There you go. Jonathan Mobo is putting Why Not Lloyd on blast. He actually put Lloyd on his Instagram, which is interesting because Lloyd is just their friend on 2K, part of their entourage. And I guess he liked the picture. Some people are going to look at this picture, and if they don't know who Lloyd is, they'll be like, who is this guy? What is this deal? Like, why is Jonathan posting this guy? No, that's Lloyd, man. And you don't know Lloyd like I know Lloyd. Lloyd's cool, man. He's a cool dude. OG actually posted something yesterday. OG Ananobi is a spokesperson for Stella Artois beer at this point. And they had a big event, I guess, let's do dinner. And OG showed up and dressed real nice and smiled. And, he was there for Stella. So he's getting a check from Stella to show up and be there and present. That's how you do it, Kawhi. Damn it. Jacoby was on the court with the youth yesterday, and I was wondering why. Well, it's because of MLSE Launchpad, of course. Jacoby Bryant doing an MLSE Launchpad event in a local park in Toronto area yesterday, or maybe it was Thursday. It was in the last couple of days. So very, very cool to see the ambassador for MLSE Launchpad, Jacoby Walter, out in the field in action and giving back to the youth and mentoring. There you go. Teresa Resch is all about Montreal this weekend. That's right. That's right. We got Slim Duck on the practice court for Boston. Yikes. In some ways, maybe Slim Duck could be giving us a little bit of an eye in the sky on our enemies, the Boston Celtics. Since he's on their team now, I can see the things they're doing if I continue to follow Slim Duck. Maybe we'll get some intel about the Celtics and what's going on there. Yeah. Thinking. Yeah. Jamal Shed is putting on blast Jamison Battle because he likes his three-point shooting. And there's a highlight reel of Jamison hitting threes and other people in the highlights of the year. Yeah, that's the Jamison Battle highlights. And he's a monster. It's crazy. Yeah. And Shed saying you one of a kind, Battle, because of his crazy and all that stuff he's doing. He's too funny, man. He's a funny guy. Yeah, I watched the highlights of the Summer League yesterday, finally. And you know what I took from watching the Summer League highlights from 2025 for the Toronto Raptors? Shamshay is really good, guys. Like, if you just looked at what he did, like, in a couple of those plays, man, he's going to be so good. We were talking about him in Koloko the other day. I don't think it's even going to be close. I think Aldridge Shamshay is going to be so much better than what Koloko could have been because he honestly has an all-around package. Like, seriously, that one play I forgot about at Summer League where he dribbled the ball down the court himself in traffic and then wrap around past it to Colin Murray Boyles for a dunk. I'm telling you, he's going to be amazing. When he finally arrives, he has so much to him. Seriously, Shamshay is going to be so good. And I'm really looking forward to Colin, too, because Colin has got a lot of X factors to him, too. So, yeah, it's kind of cool to watch those highlights from Summer League, and I'm realizing that now. I think Serge is still in New York. If we're going, where in the world is Serge Ibaka right now? I think he's still in New York. His friend's got is that a Purple Rain shirt on? That's a nice shirt, man. He's got cool friends if he's got a friend wearing a Purple Rain shirt. Yeah, I don't know who this squad is, man. Who your friends, Serge? Who are those guys? I've never seen them. Yeah, there's the Jameson Battle highlight reel on Raptors Official. Savannah Hamilton is talking about how hard it is, her life, and being out in the islands on vacation. And then she's saying, oh, feel sad for me because I'm off on vacation now. Okay. And AJ Lawson's putting on blast Canada basketball at the Keg and the AJ Lawson camp that he had recently. We love you, AJ. And you know what? I'm going to say this right now. The Raptors would have beat the Sacramento Kings at Summer League this year if AJ had not missed that game. I'm telling you right now, if AJ Lawson had not been a scratch on the 5th game of the Summer League this summer, we would have won that game. We needed his leadership and his talent added to the pool of the Summer League rosters in that game against Maxime Renaud and Isaac Jones. So, yeah, I'm telling you right now, I believe that we would have beat Sacramento and gotten to the championship game of the Summer League this year if AJ had not been sat out like he did. And I know that they said he was hurt, but I think that they just sat him to give more time to other people because they were not caring about totally winning. If you played AJ in that game, Coco, you guys would have won. I really do believe that. I really, really do believe that. That's right. That's right. All right, there's your Instagram stories right there. I don't want to do gender role stuff like gender conditioning. This is going to be a new era going in forward. And some people are scared of that. They think it means trans. They think it means like, oh, weird shit. No, we've got to stop the stereotypes. I think that women can do just as much as men can do in all kinds of different things. And some people think that's not true. But I'll bet you I could find you a woman that could do every single thing that a man does somewhere in this world. For the most part, there are maybe a couple things they can't, but for the most part, if they can do most of the tasks that a man can do, whether it's strength kind of stuff or any kind of things like that. We got to break these stereotypes in our head, thinking that men have to be this and women have to be that. It's all preconditioning in society, and honestly, the more deconditioning yourself from the things that we're lied to and taught when we're young, the better you're off later in your life. I'm just saying. Kaz is saying, all good, Lex. I'll receive it when I get it. I'm not going anywhere. That's cool, man. Yeah, you get it. I'm hoping I'll be able to send it to you this week. Yeah, Neil's saying, look, the endorsements are not a part of the NBA players' contract, so it's a loophole. That's the problem. Look, I'm not going to let you sit in here and say that you endorse Steve Ballmer breaking the rules like he did. Seriously, I'm not going to let you do that because in some ways, he's saying owners will always have a connection. It's in the social norms they play in. No, I get all that, but you got to understand what I'm saying is Adam Silver has a rule book for how you can run an NBA team, and if they broke the rules, they need to be punished. I don't give a shit if everybody's doing it. If they got caught doing it, they need to be punished. Seriously, once again, we don't live in a world of corruption, even though the 1% live like that. In some ways, we have to be the paragons of virtue for the whole rest of the world if the fucking rich are going to be corrupted and full of shit people. In some ways, the people can set the standard for the morals and values that we have. And I'm just saying, this is very bad for the league. And Adam Silver knows that if it's just a Wild West where everybody can just do what you're describing, that's not going to be good. And the NBA is not like that right now. You're not being truthful. It's not like that. They can say it's like that, but that's bullshit. Most of the teams, because we can look at their sheets and see how much people are getting paid. Their salary caps are public knowledge. It's the extra shit on the side that tells you that this is wrong. And the receipts are there. Pablo's got them. So, Neil, I would say this. You can take the mass media message of this whole thing and believe them because they have so much more to protect and to try and circle wagons to hide. Or you could believe the guy who has nothing to lose and actually has the receipts. He literally has the receipts from a Clippers owner that were not on the books for the salary cap, and it's all there. The evidence is there. It's just up to whether Adam Silver is going to do anything about it. So, I'm not going to let you just say, hey, this is just how it is, and why are we caring about this? No, this is a big deal because we don't want to be like MLB. We want to have a fair system where, all 30 of the teams in the NBA have the same shot. And if there's a really rich market like LA or New York that's spending all this money on the side, doing illegal shit, well, that's not right. That is not right. And if this league is going to be a league that's fair and equal and a playing field for anybody to try and win, that's not it when that happens. That's not it when that happens. I'm telling you right now, a loophole or whatever it is, either way, the Clippers are dead to rights because they broke the rules. The receipts are there, and you can call it a loophole. You can call it what it is. It's exactly what we see it as it is. You can poo-poo it. You can get in line with the billionaires and Mark Cuban and Adam Silver and protect them, Neil. Oh, I'm sure they need you to add your voice to help protect them. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Let's see. Smooth saying, if the investigation lasts into the season, Leonard should be suspended. Clippers should not benefit from having him play in games. I mean, I think that's fair. I'm okay with that. I mean, I think that the thing is, all right, maybe Kawhi doesn't get suspended, but he gets his contract voided. I mean, the penalty should be that, like, Dennis, Kawhi, you guys can't operate like this. And in fact, you're going to take a financial hit for this. Because in some ways, your attitude about being above the NBA's rules, because that's how it's been described, that Uncle Dennis all along thought that none of the rules in the NBA applied to him and Kawhi, that they make the rules. Well, that's the way you punish somebody like that financially. And I mean, they could say, yeah, your contract's voided for this season. You're not going to get paid this year. If you want to play, you can play, but you're not going to get paid. I'm not going to play. I'm going to sit on the bench then, because I definitely damn for sure don't play for nothing because I get paid for nothing. I mean, shit, something's going to have to happen here. Seriously, man. Let's see. James is saying we need a fair playing field, expose them all. Exactly. If people are saying get all the people on the Epstein list public, I say the same damn thing about the NBA in this situation. Get it all out there. If there's other teams doing it, let's find out who they are. Democrat or Republican. Who gives a shit? If they are a pedophile on Epstein's island, we need to know who they are. And that's what we want to know in this NBA situation too. That's right. Wayne said, I didn't really have an opinion on the Clippers story, but if they're going after the journalists, that's a problem. Much bigger corporate crime happening, but this might be a structured loophole. Yeah, we'll just have to see. I mean, in some ways, we don't have any control over it as fans or anything. Adam Silver is going to adjudicate what he's going to adjudicate. Let's just see if he can keep the illusion of fairness up in this whole thing. Seriously, let's just see if he can keep the illusion of fairness up. Because in some ways, this is a world where everybody can see right through everything at this point. We see everything for what it is, whether it's the way the right wing reacted to Charlie Kirk, and then we found out that this guy was actually one of their own. You know, that's actually the truth, guys. You know, there's a sliding scale of fucked up, deplorable, fucked up right-wing assholes. And well, Charlie Kirk was pretty low on that list, but this guy who shot him was even lower, apparently. It's like he wasn't left. He was even more right. And the reason why he hated Charlie Kirk and shot him is because another right-wing influencer named Nick Fuentes influenced him to do it. Because Nick Fuentes told all his followers, which were mostly idiots that just sit online all day and talk about how they hate women and they hate minorities, basically said, yeah, Charlie Kirk's a sellout because he has a few liberal ideas in his right-wing platform. It's like the MAGA people, some of them are so crazy that you have to be so purely fucked up and right wing and no kind of woke and no kind of progressive ideals at all that they will eat their own. If they're on a sliding scale that's just a little bit more progressive or left than the other one. And this is who shot him. The right wing shot him because he was not right wing enough. And meanwhile, all the right wing people got crazy and said the left needs to pay for this. The left needs to pay for this. The left didn't do it. Y'all did it to yourself. Y'all's own hate that you spew in chat rooms and other places led to this bullshit. And we are not guilty. We are innocent of this shit. Your own hate ate your hate. That's what happened. You fucking idiot right-wing MAGA pieces of shit. That's what happened, you idiots. You try and say, oh, we need retribution against the left. Y'all fucking are crazy. We didn't do jack shit in this situation. Y'all ate your own. That's what happened here. That's right. Neil's saying game room wallpaper don't matter. It's just another endorsement. Yeah, but this is a separate thing. Like, are you trying to say that the thing that Scotty's doing with the condo is similar to what's happening with Kawhi? No, because first of all, Scotty, the people he's dealing with the condo have nothing to do with the Raptors. This is a private business venture that is separate from the Raptors completely. Scotty's getting paid to be involved. He's not actually getting paid. I don't know. He may be getting paid something, but he's getting an apartment in the situation. They're going to give him one of the penthouse condos and the highest level of it. That was the deal. Was he saying, I'm going to live there, guys. I'm going to live there and I'm going to design the game room. And you could actually live in the building that I live in. You know, I don't know how that is tied in with the Raptors or why you're connecting this in this way like this. This is not the same thing. There's direct ties with aspiration, Steve Ballmer, and owners of the Clippers. I don't know if this was a scandal. They would have came out with this shit about Scotty and the condo and the business that he's dealing with that. People are allowed to have side deals, advertisements like Google Pixel and shit like that. In fact, Scotty's doing something with Google Pixel. He's on TV with Jack Armstrong. He's rendering services for the payment that Google pays him to be in the commercial. Kawhi didn't want to do jack shit. He said, hey, just give me the money. I'm not going to show up. I don't want to be in a commercial. I won't post anything on social media. Can you understand the difference here, Neil? And can you understand that Steve Ballmer was in the ownership group of Aspiration? And that was part of the problem because that's collusion. And that is circumventing the salary cap. You've got to understand the difference here, Neil. In some ways, like, look, Scotty was so public about his condo deal. If there was an issue there, you don't think motherfuckers would be coming after him for it? He's so public about it. So, I mean, let's critically think here, Neil, about this. Seriously, man. Seriously. There's a difference between the two kinds of endorsements. Depending on where the money trail goes to. The money trail goes straight to Steve Ballmer, then he's guilty. Scotty's actually doing services to get paid for, and it's separate from MLSE and the Raptors. There's nothing wrong with that. There's tons of players that have endorsements. Grady Dick's on a Gillette commercial with Tracy McGrady. Is that part of the wrong thing? No. You've got to understand the differences here. And don't listen to the corporate media's bullshit like Wayne's saying, man. There's a big problem with the corporate media at this point. They're not going to be telling us the truth in all kinds of different ways. They're not showing us the protests right now. Are they showing us the hundreds of thousands of Americans that are taking to the streets to protest Donald Trump and fight against his bullshit? No, they're not, because they're being told not to by the powers that be. So I'm serious, y'all. Now's the time. I was always kind of trusting of the mass media to a degree, but now I am not in any kind of way. I'm not trusting of the mass media and what they tell me. I'm not trusting in the FBI either, because they obviously fucking lie too, Kash Patel. So yeah, who can you trust in this world today? Trust yourself, trust your inner voice, trust your inner spirit to guide you to right and not to wrong. How about that? There you go. Boom goes the dynamite. James is saying Kawhi might have re-signed with us if it wasn't for Steve. Maybe, I don't know. I think it was Dennis that got in the way. Kawhi might have resigned with us if it wasn't for Dennis, is what the answer is there. Previously saying next season will be the second expansion team in the history of the WNBA to reach the playoffs in the first year. That'd be awesome. I hope so. I don't know if it's totally likely, but we'll see. It'd be awesome. I hope that's true. I really do. But I mean, the thing that with the Valkyries, they kind of got lucky. We should have came in with them, and they got a bolster of a only team coming in this year. We would have split their good players with them, and they wouldn't have been as good. So they should thank Ed Rogers the third for being in the playoffs right now, honestly. The Valkyries should thank Ed Rogers the third for fucking up the timeline for us getting our WNBA team, for helping the Valkyries get in the playoffs this year. Because of the expansion draft last year would have been divided between Toronto's team and Golden State, and they wouldn't have had such crazy talent this season in their first year to be able to achieve this. So that's a big part of it right there. Yeah. Blackhawk saying it's not gender roles, it's an endorsement. Oh, okay. I just missed you come in leaning in with the interior design thing. I'm sorry if I went on a tangent that you did not expect or weren't even thinking. I apologize for that. If I read totally wrong on your comment, just realize, keywords and certain things and the way you were kind of going about it, that's how I read it. But if I misinterpreted you, I apologize, Neil. I do. And if it was just about the endorsement side of it, okay, I get what you were trying to say. I think it's because you said he's doing interior design. I'm like, what is this? Smooth saying this, taking away draft capital means nothing to the Clippers. They don't have any picks until 2030. If guilty, like I said, Kawhi gets a 1-year suspension, contract voided. Never gets to play for the Clippers again. I mean, that sounds like reasonable punishments, but the thing we've got to understand, Leonard has not had the ability to be on the court. And if this is like the 1 year he's able to be healthy and he's suspended for the year, holy crap, what a tragedy that would be. That he finally is like healthy, but he can't play because he fucked up in this situation. That would be so crazy, honestly, if you think about that. That would be so crazy if that happened to him. Maybe that is the punishment. Kawhi's not allowed to play for the Clippers ever again. That's actually sounds like a really good punishment for all involved. Whether it's Steve Ballmer, it's just you just wasted this money on him, bro, and you don't get him anymore, and he's got to go somewhere else. And Kawhi, you don't get to play where you want to play either. You got to go play somewhere else. And this owner's not going to do this bullshit for you and Dennis. No, no, no. This owner's not going to do it. They could put him on a small market team. They could put him somewhere like where there is no money and there is no shit like this. And yeah, well, Kawhi, you're Utah Jazz, bro. You're Utah Jazz all of a sudden. Yeah, welcome to the Jazz. You just got traded for Larry Markkinen, bro. That's right. Kaz is saying, I want to believe they will do that, Smooth, but they are going to get away with it. Minimal consequences. We'll just have to see. Once again, if Trump's not going to go to prison for so many felonies, raping women, causing insurrections, being a pedophile, railroading, running away from contractors that he owes money to for his whole entire life. This man has been running away from the law his whole entire life. And that is why he's kind of the one guy who does this so well, is because he's been practicing how to dip and dodge all kinds of bullshit for so long, whether it's litigation, whether it's just like, I'm not paying you. Yeah, I want you to come and gold leaf my fucking bathroom. And yeah, you're not getting paid. Oh, you want that payment? Sorry, I'm Donald Trump. I conned your ass. I'm a piece of shit. That's the kind of shit we're living in right now. That guy is the worst leader in the world to be the leader of the United States because his leadership makes other people act shitty too, because he's an example. You know what I'm saying? It's a really, really fucked up thing. Trevor's saying Moses Brown signed a 1-year deal with the Denver Nuggets. That's to me, that's not a needle pusher. Not really. I've heard this, speaking of the Nuggets. This is very interesting, Raptors-related information. Jonas Valanciunas has arrived with the Nuggets. He is going to play for them this year. I know I said a lot of things, and I still stand by what I said, but Jonas is going to come in, and he's bonded with Nikola, apparently. Nikola and Jonas are like this now, guys, and it makes sense. These are two big, goofy, fun-loving European guys who have a lot in common. And what it was Jonas came in there and started talking about his horses and his stables. And Nicola's eyes and ears perked up. He said, what? You have horses and stables? Yes, Nicola, I have horses and stables too. He said, I love you, Jonas. You're my new best friend. So expect the Valanciunas Jokic tag team of fun over the bonding over equine. Yeah, this is true. Jonas bonded with Nikola Jokic right away over horses, and now they're like this, apparently. That's what I'm hearing out of Nuggets camp right now, that they're instantly best friends because of this shared passion. Isn't that fun? Isn't that fun? So it'll be interesting to see, because we know that Jonas is a big kid at heart. We know Valanciunas so well from his years in Toronto. We love you so much, Big V. We love you, Big Science. And Nikola, well, we know how he is. So in some ways, there's a lot of fun synergy between Jonas and Nikola Jokic because they're big, goofy guys. And it'll be pretty fun to see them playing together. As much as I wanted Jonas to get freed of the Denver Nuggets, I like this turn of events that Jokic and Jonas are buddies. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Blackhawks saying, every team does it. If you want to make it about gender roles, go ahead. I would say he never went to school for it. It's just a way to find ways to pull in some money. All right. Once again, I think I delineated the difference here. Scotty doesn't have to be an interior designer or an accredited interior designer or licensed interior designer to do this work. If the developer of the condo wants to ask him how they would like to design the playroom, because that's what he's doing. He's designing a game room with a ping pong table and an air hockey table and a basketball court possibly and a bowling alley maybe and some video games. That's what Scott's doing. I don't know if you read the article. And in some ways, you don't have to have any expertise. In some ways, you could be like, this is what I like and this is what I like. And I think we should put this in here. and this in here. Now, yeah, we can orient the room this way. And I'd like to set this court over here, the mini hoop, and this and this. That's what he's doing. It's not like he is he's making like a room like in Brewster's Millions. That Monty Brewster's like, oh, tear it all down, make it. I hate it. We got to do a new one. What are you doing in here? You're wasting my time and my money. You got to do it again. Of course, he's doing that on purpose because he just wants to burn money. Brewster's Millions, Richard Pryor. It's not like that. It's not the fiance of the sexy accountant of Monty Burns. No, Monty Brewster. No, Monty Brewster. Yeah, that's right. No, it's not that, man. It's a fun guy named Scotty Barnes who wants to make a fun room for a condo he's going to live in. I mean, yeah, I think that you're looking at this in a weird way, man. Fiercely saying, how many teams Moses Brown been on? I don't even think he's 30 yet. He has been around a lot, man. He has been around a lot. And in some ways, like I said, he's not going to stick. He's attractive because he's very tall, but he's not got a shot outside of 5 feet from the basket. And that is so limited. So it's like he gets stuck around just for being a big stiff on the end of the bench to has fouls. And that's a job that's still around the NBA to a degree. It used to be there's like 2 or 3 of those guys on every team, but now there's usually only maybe one. And it's not really a thing you want to have around. And it's not a skill. It's basically you go out there, you be tall, rebound a bit, and foul people. It's not like it's a really skilled position. And Moses Brown has got the ability to get up and down the court with long limbs, but he is an extremely limited basketball player. That's the crazy thing. Yeah, Shamshay looks so good in those summer league highlights. Looking back on them, I'm like, holy crap, man. I forgot just how badass he looked, man. Neil's saying this: the players will pull in over $500 million by the end of the salary, and it's not enough because they have to pull in endorsements too. Well, that's all separate stuff. And Scotty's making money off of Twitch subscriptions. I mean, look, Adam Silver's rules are very clear. It's the ownership. They can't make secret pacts. In negotiating to get the player to stay in your city, you can't do this kind of shit. Scotty's already under contract. He's working under contract with the Raptors on his rookie contract. He signs a deal to do something with the condo. Is very separate. And it's not involved in the courting period where the free agent can make a decision to leave. And that's the difference. Kawhi Leonard had a decision he could make in 2021 after the first 2 years of playing for the Clippers. And he could have said, I'm out. Could you sweeten the deal is what he said instead. And they went bent over backwards and did some shady ass shit to entice him to stay in LA. And you got to understand the difference, Neil. Some of his timing, if he's a free agent, if you're signing endorsement deals and you're under contract already, you're not getting incentives added to your contract. You're just going outside of your primary job and doing your secondary job as an ad person for a client that is separated from everything. I mean, I don't understand how I got to delineate this to you, man. Listen, I would agree with you, man. 500 million should be enough for anybody in their lifetime. Why do you have to go get endorsements? If you don't want to be endorsements, you don't need it. You just use your salary. I mean, I don't know exactly what your point is. People live their life, and some people want to earn as much money as they possibly can in their entire life. Some people don't have that exact goal in their life either. They don't value money as much as that to go and do that. Smooth saying, if Silver does what we think, nothing regarding this, well, it's another strike against the NBA. First, hang on. Whoa, wow, we got a new person. First, the healthcare fraud, the gambling, and this. It's not a good look. The healthcare fraud is not Adam Silver's fault. That is those retired players' fault. That is totally their fault. Adam Silver did not have anything to do with that healthcare fraud, so don't put that on him. That was those players that got together and did that. That was really wrong in some ways. And they got punished for it. But, man, let's not get it twisted. There's probably white guys doing this somewhere else, and people are looking the other way. And that kind of pisses me off about that. The gambling and then this. Yeah, the gambling, adding the gambling's bad. The let them eat cake moment this week of saying fans can just watch highlights instead of the full game. That was bad, too. Yeah, there's stuff he's doing that is not the best right now. For sure. Adam Silver, I've never really kind of liked him totally. Not really at all. No, I haven't. Smooth saying MLB is going through it too. The players involved in the alleged gambling stuff have been suspended. NBA needs to follow suit. Well, Jonte, yeah, they did it to Jonte. Malik Beasley, Terry Rozier, those guys are not totally guilty yet. And maybe Malik Beasley won't be guilty, just like Terry Rozier. We got to allow people to be innocent until proven guilty still, even including Steve Ballmer. So, and that's the one thing that I'm sort of saying. The burden of proof is on the NBA to show that they did something wrong. And well, he can make up some bullshit and say they didn't do anything wrong, and we wouldn't know either way whether he actually did do something wrong or not to a degree. Adam Silver could just declare it and say, yeah, he didn't do anything wrong. It's case is closed. It's over. And that may be what happens, guys. That could really be it. Neil's saying the only thing about the Kawhi situation is he did nothing for the money. If he had smiled one or two times for a commercial about planting trees, there would not have been an issue. That might be right. That might be right. See, this is the thing. Pablo Torre got access to very sensitive information in which they kind of went back and forth and they said, look, we don't want to do anything for this money. We just want you to give us the money to supplement his income as a part of what he's getting paid with the Clippers. It's very, very explicit. And there's people that were involved that have said this to Pablo Torre. They said, yeah, that whole thing with aspiration was just the Steve Ballmer and the Clippers enhancing the payments to Kawhi and more money outside of the salary cap, because in the salary cap, we know teams can only spend a certain amount. So what if a player wants a little bit more than what the teams can pay? That's the problem right there, Neil. That's the problem. The arrangement in the deal was explicitly said. If they had done it more shady, they could have probably hit it better. Sure. But they didn't cover their tracks well enough because Pablo Torres found them. And that's it right there. That's it right there. You might be right. Kawhi shows up. He's not such a lazy ass. He gets in a commercial, talks about some trees for 5 minutes, and maybe it doesn't look as bad, but probably is still just as guilty of doing it, because the behind the scenes is still the intention of Dennis demanding more extra money for Kawhi outside the salary cap. And that is where they are wrong. That is where they are wrong. And Steve Ballmer is wrong for letting them do it and giving in to them and doing it. That's it. Wayne's saying in every sports related activities, even when younger, more than 60% of females could beat my ass. Intellectually the same. These things are gender neutral. Yeah, it's just something that, like, it sucks, man, because I know, being a guy born in 75, I'm on this weird bridge Generation X, that really got the analog world before the cell phones and the internet and the digital world. And I saw, like, I grew up in the childhood that I drank out of hoses and rode bikes and didn't have a cell phone, and there wasn't the internet. And, I had a real childhood. And in some ways, you go into what's happening with kids now, and they're just on their devices. And there's a lot of things that are totally different now. And it's sad, because in some ways we're people in our generation in middle age right now that really have one foot in the old world, and we're going to have a foot in the new world as it changes going forward too. And in some ways, we're the ones who can really see the most change. Like, change has accelerated so much in our lifetimes as Gen X that it's crazy to understand how it exponentially can continue to change in the next decade, 20 years, 50 years. It can be insane where we're at in 2050 or 2060, guys, with everything that's possible with how things can change. So, and it's tough, because, like, there's kids that are young now that have no idea how we grew up, and they will never get that chance. And in some ways, that's sad. That is sad. It's very, very sad in some ways, man. So yeah. All right. Let's see. Where am I in this one? Blackhawks saying the league will never be fair. Well, it's close right now, and I love that Oklahoma City won and they played Indiana, and that's where you check it. Is what are the results and who's winning and who's getting far. If the teams that are taking shortcuts, they're trying to be lazy, stack superstars, and not play hard during the season, aren't getting there, the league's in good shape. That's what I would say. If the league is having the hardest working teams and the best teams winning, then the league's in good shape, is what I say. All right, we got a new person in here, and I think they went crazy. Let's see what they're saying. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. All right, what is it? All right, what are they saying? Charlie Kirk was a good, God-fearing Christian. He said that, but his actions spoke different. I say words and actions are different. His actions were hateful. He could say he was a Christian and he was God-fearing and he cared, but he honestly spewed hate, and he spewed a lot of bigotry, and he indoctrinated young people into his beliefs. And that's almost the worst. It's one thing if you have those kind of beliefs just yourself and you keep them to yourself, but when you push them on other people and bring them in to your way of thinking, and your way of thinking is absolutely evil and crass and unchristlike. Look, anybody can say they're a Jesus Christ follower, doesn't mean they are, because it's about what you do. It's about who you are and what you stand for. Christ stood for benevolence and kindness for all and equality. He didn't stand for ICE raids and taking people away from their families. No, he never stood for that. He stood for everybody gets a seat at the table. And I'm telling you, everything in the MAGA world and Charlie Kirk is not Christ-like. It's antichrist. In fact, it's the most antichrist because it comes in the form of trying to act like it's Christ-like. So I'll say this, Isla Vanel, you're probably not Christ-like either. If you believe that Charlie Kirk is a good Christ person, seriously. Oh, I'm going to go off on this person. I want to see what else they said. Let's see. Stop the cap. Come on. It is the liberals that caused that. It is the liberals who caused that. Oh my gosh. No, they didn't. A guy who follows Nick Fuentes, who is in the ideology of Grouder. I don't even know what the fuck that is. His father is a cop. And in some ways, his father turned him in. And this kid is not a liberal. This kid is not left-leaning. In fact, this kid is very racist. They shot Charlie Kirk. And he was just another level of evil below Charlie Kirk. It's all on the right side of the spectrum. They ain't got nothing to do with my people and what happened in that. That's right. Blackhawk saying Uncle Dennis got away with the bad behavior because the league did not require agents to be licensed and certified. And Silver changed it now to deal with the Uncle Dennises of the world. Yeah, apparently he was like this from the start in San Antonio. And, his bullshit is catching up to him. That's basically what I would say there. All right, let's see. What else is this person saying? Charlie Kirk loved America and he loved Canada. He loved Canada? Well, if that motherfucker ever said he wanted us to join Canada, fuck him. Two-finger salute to Charlie Kirk, because never a 51st state. We are our own country, and we have nothing to do with that country down there that's a dumpster fire right now. No. You stay down there. Seriously. Here we go. Charlie Kirk was a common sense conservative that knew Trudeau's policy didn't work. Okay, this sounds like this idiot who used to come in here. As soon as somebody brings up Trudeau or Biden, I'm like, yeah, this is a dumbass fuckface who used to frequent this channel. That's probably who this is. I mean, that's what I get from this stuff. And then this is what he's saying. He wanted Canada to be more like Alberta than Ontario. Okay, I don't even know. You're garbage. All right, let's see. Blackhawk saying Charlie Kirk spoke out about Epstein. His Christian ideology had nothing to do with it. I like that. That's something where I actually agreed with Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to just blindly say everything he said was bad. Well, there's one thing that he did say, and he wanted that list released. And I'm with him on that. I can be with him on some things. We're going to agree on some stuff. The stop clock is right 2 times a day, right? Right. Good morning, Rapid Freak crew. Turning in late. Good morning to you, Coach Cool Cat. We're celebrating Fiercey Salcera Jr. and Fiercey for their love of basketball and shared mother-daughter relationship over her basketball career. And we love Fiercey, MJ, and her daughter, and all the Rapid Freaks. Cool Cat, good morning to you. All right, let me just see. And Fiercey is the one deleting this idiot. Let's see. No. Yeah, okay. Name calling. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is our dumbass friend Bradley, who has nothing better to do with his life. So yeah, we'll just get another person, another handle that he's brought up and brought in here to do this bullshit. It's really sad that you can't just move on with your life. I mean, seriously. Isaac's saying, I heard Uncle Dennis is Stephen A. Smith running mate as VP. Now I just need to figure out which political party they represent. Yeah, they don't make no sense right there at all. That's right. The punishment is letting Kawhi and Embiid continue to play. Hilarious. Blackhawk saying, Isla, I don't know what is up your butt, but you need to vamoose. There's no Kirk lovers in here. I spit on his grave, Nikolai Volkov style. There you go. I like that. Hawk 2 girl. Hawk 2 girl. Like Iron Sheik. Yes. Moose saying Moses Brown is Chuck Nevitt. Remember him, Lex? Yeah, that makes sense. This is an old Rocket. Of course, Reggie's going to bring up a Rocket. Chuck Nevitt. Yeah, he was just kind of an extra 6 fouls is basically what Chuck Nevitt was. That's right. Fiercey saying, Isla, I will put you in timeout. My first time ever doing this. There you go. On her Share the Love Club, she's putting people in timeout. I love it. 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 Let's go. And they was saying, Isla, stats zito figlio di pitain. And I know that was not nice, what I just said in Italian from my Italian teacher. That's right. Nameless, big ups to you, my guy, my friend, the plumber. That's awesome, man. Make Isla great again. Make Isla go away. And, go spout your dumbass shit somewhere else. Seriously. Once again, if this is our old friend that used to be on our channel all the time with us, you're not welcome here. It's sad that you still do this. You're pathetic. All right. And you've been banned from the channel once again. So get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. All right, let me see. Where am I on my tabs, man? We're on Raptors Reddit reactions. This is the Terrence Ross clip of him talking about Bargnani and what he said and the similarities to Angel Reese's situation there. So check that out. If you want to see the clip, it's on Raptors Reddit. You can hear Ross's words himself talking about exactly how it went down. And it sounds like, he likes Bargnani. He's not against Bargnani. He said that he always treated him good. And he liked him. It's just that he stepped in it. And I really do think it was a lost in translation miscommunication problem. Seriously, I think that was the biggest issue there. Let's see. What else we got? We're going to do the classic card real quick. We don't have any birthdays again today. We haven't had a couple birthdays for a couple days now. So, all right, let's get the classic card out. Oh, yeah, let's do this one. This one's fun. All right, this is a card set that I had, and I think some of y'all might recognize this card very quickly and get it. So be fast, be furious, and full name answer, please. Full name answer. There you go. Full name answer on this All-Star card from Miami 1990. It's pretty easy, man. Full name answer. Don't wait on this one. It's not going to be here long. And this is actually, I think, his first. Yeah, Slug Deezy's here. I love to see Slug Deezy just jump out all of a sudden. I think this is the first All-Star game that Reggie played in. Let's see. Yeah, it's the first time he ever got the All-Star game was in 1990, I think. Yeah, first All-Star appearance for Reggie Miller, 1990. So this is a rookie All-Star Reggie Miller card, All-Star each. Yeah, Slug Deezy in just before Reggie. Really, really good stuff. Reggie didn't get Reggie. I'm sorry, Reggie. But yeah, we'll give 50 points to Slug Deezy for the classic card of the day, Reggie Miller. All-Star 1990. That's right. You in some ways you could get that from the form, right? The way he holds the ball when he's going up to shoot is a very signature way he holds his arm. Very, very signature. When I was learning basketball when I was young, I studied Reggie. I studied Chuck Person, and I studied who was the Buck guy I studied too. I think I studied Ricky Pierce. Like those are the three guys I like to study the best for jump shots because they just had it like that. 3 points for Slug? 3 points? No, he's getting 50. You want to say just a 3-pointer? We'll give him a 3-pointer for a dunk. How about that? I'll give Slug Deezy a dunk. I'm gonna give Nameless one too for his Italian lesson earlier. I'm gonna give him one for that too. So Slug Deezy, 24, and then we'll go to Nameless, 30. He's got the Del Curry 30. There you go. Beauty. Yeah, Neil saying, my internet is too slow. Slug Deezy posted the answer before you even showed the card. Man, that's crazy. Now, make sure you're on live, Neil. Neil, I appreciate you. Once again, I apologize if I misinterpreted your comment earlier and went on a whole other tangent that wasn't apropos to what you were saying. Yeah, same. YouTube's messed up. Okay. All right, I guess we'll wrap it up. We're right over 2 hours anyway, so we got right to the right place on the stream. I appreciate everybody watching me today on the Raptor Freak stream. Even the people that are goofy and weird and trolls and shouldn't even be in here. Well, whatever, you came in here and gave me a count for a little bit and spiced it up a little bit. Yeah, Charlie Kirk may have professed being Christ-like, but he's not. That man was not Christ-like in how he acted and the way that he spewed hate and spread it around everybody in different ways. So, yeah, don't be like Charlie Kirk. Yeah, be like Scotty. Go see Hamilton. Decorate a game room in a condo. Those are the kind of things you should have. Go be like MJ and teach your kids how to play basketball and have fun and spend time with them. And this is the other thing I should have said to Fiercey earlier. It's really good what she's doing is because she's hands-on approach with her daughter. her daughter could be just out there going through life without as much parental guidance or influence. And that's dangerous in today's world. That's for damn sure. It was always dangerous, but it's even more dangerous now. And I commend her for being an active parent who's very, very active in helping to shape her daughter to be the best person she can be. That is fantastic stuff. So here's to youth in sports, especially basketball, especially young women that are in basketball. The WNBA playoffs is here this weekend. Temple are coming, and Fiercely Salcera Jr. is on her journey as a young basketball player. And we love her, and we love her mother too. And the beautiful, beautiful relationship shared in basketball. It's just a very, very beautiful, glorious thing. That's right. That's right. Yeah. I know you're not, Neil, I know you have a thick skin, and I know that you and I have a good friendship, that you and I can be cool. And I'm sorry, once again, I know that, listen, I misdirect stuff sometimes, and I know that. But I'm also the kind of person that takes accountability for his mistakes, and I will come forward and admit them and apologize. Some people in this world can't do that. And one of them's sitting in the White House right now. That's right. One of them's like that. That's right. W stream conspiracy. It's all about you. You're a W. You are a W. So that W is you. And that W is represented in the WNBA. And that is a W that's important to basketball, as far as I'm concerned. There you go, Neil. There you go, Isaac. W's all around. All around. That's right. Let's go, Fiercey and Fiercey Jr. Let's go, WNBA. Let's go, Toronto Tempo. Let's go, Toronto Raptors. Let's go, Raptor Freaks. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for the Sunday report. That's right. It's a birthday party, y'all. Let's go.